Do you get extremely stuck in your head when you are talking to others? If so, this is something that happens to a lot of other people. It is something that has happened to me, especially when I was growing up and a bit younger. It still does happen time to time, but I know exactly how to get out of that state where I'm very stuck in my head and don't allow that overthinking to completely trample anything that I want to do. And so we have to identify first why you are getting stuck in your head. And this is mainly coming from your overthinking. If you're overthinking the perfect thing to say, well, guess what? There is no perfect thing, and so you're not going to say anything. And this reason that you may be wanting and needing to say the only perfect thing, because you may fear that if you say the wrong thing, the other people you're talking to may not like you, may judge you, may treat you worse because you said something that wasn't perfect, that wasn't super witty or absolutely the best question or absolutely like this. And so what you're doing is really overthinking the perfect thing. You're also kind of looking for permission. If any of you relate to this, are you looking for permission to speak, to be more playful? If someone else does it, do you now feel more safe to do it? If so, that's perfectly okay. But is that something that's happening? So these two things in combination, looking to be more, expressive and not overthink everything. And then you are overthinking a lot of things, getting stuck in your head, looking for the perfect thing to say. So you don't get judged, so the other people don't like you too much. They don't hate you. So why is this happening though? And it's coming from your past experiences. What you're having right there is your mindset. Meaning your mindset is, I can't say this, they may not like it. I can't do this, they may not like it. I may be judged. That would be weird. That would be cringe. That would be this or that. And you cannot handle the scrutiny that comes with that criticism that may come with. And so the biggest thing of why people want to be more confident, more out there, more expressive, it comes with a certain caveat though. The more confident or expressive or out there you are, the more it opens you up to judgment, because you are simply being bigger. More people get to see you, more people get to judge, more people get to do this. And so with that comes judgment. That's why very popular people who are good under tension, people who can captivate a room when they tell a story, when they tell stories, when they talk, when they have a couple people talking to them and they're able to just be okay and still do it. They're feeling that judgment, but to a higher degree, but they're okay with it. That's what gives them that difference. That's what makes them different from them to you, from me to you. I still feel the judgment. That judgment that I feel and you feel are the same when we want to say something. The difference is I've trained myself and I know how and what's happening in my body on how to just get over that and not even make it such a big deal. And so your mindsets come from your past experiences. Things that you've experienced in your past are going to develop your mindsets. And then your mindsets are going to dictate your actions. And constant actions over time dictate your identity, who you are. Right? And this identity is how you live your life. And if right now every conversation feels hard to you, feels like you're stuck in your head, feels like you're trapped by anxiety and can't really be the person that you want to be, well, that's the life you're living, and it all starts from here. And you can't change this. You can't change this. That's why this is so hard to change. But you have to change this and this. Those are the only two things you can change. And the actions come from the mindset, so we need to start there first. So the mindset that you have right now is I have to say the perfect thing, I'm stuck in my head, it's harder for me to express myself. So that's what we're going to use, express. And express is words, it's eye contact, it's your dynamic in your voice, like how loud you are, it's your facial expressions, it's your body language. So there's so much that goes, well, it's not so much, it's literally just this stuff. It's anything that you can physically do. And so people who talk a bit more quieter and seem like they're afraid of putting themselves out there are expressing themselves less. So this expression, lack or big of it, is coming from our past experiences. And now the reason why this may be so hard to do is because when we were a kid or younger, or even like any time now, but mainly when we were a kid, when we went to express ourselves to our parents, to someone, and they hit us with this negative energy, and so you try to remember back in your time, if there was ever a point in your life where your parents, your mother, your father, someone in your household was very stressful, was very loud and maybe overbearing, and maybe really put a lot of, guilt on you, shame on you, this on you, that on you, and it wasn't allowing you just to express yourself, just who you are, and would call out those mistakes, would call out flaws, would put down. So I remember from my childhood being called, a lazy person, just like my father. I never knew my father, but my mom would say this a lot to me. And she would call me these things and say all these things to me. And, right, whatever she was going through on her head, that's just not the best way to go about it. And there's so many people in this world who have had parents like that, who are just very mean in some ways, who can be very mean, who are very nice, but can be very mean. And when they are that very mean selves, person of themselves, what happens is that they really tend to hit you with this negative energy. And that shows to you as a kid that you just expressing yourself, whether it be like, shut up, quiet your voice, stop doing this, I'm gonna do that to you, like all those things, that's a form of you expressing yourself. And if they're hitting you with that negative energy, telling you this or that, well, you're going to learn in your brain, if I express myself, I'm only going to get hit with more negative energy. And then what's going to happen is that you're going to say, oh, for me to not be hit with more negative energy, I need to express myself in a certain type of way. And this certain type of way is the expression that they like. And it's not true to you, but it's whatever will make them happy. And now that they like it, then they give you positive energy. And then basically what is happening is you're rewiring your brain to not be yourself, to not just be like this loose, authentic version, and you're actually reprogramming it to be this fake, like, super nice person, right? Who doesn't step on anybody's toes, who doesn't want to do anything wrong, because you're expecting such negative energy, and you can't handle that negative energy, the pain that comes with it. I now know that even if I am myself and I get hit with negative energy, I'll be able to handle that. But I used to not be able to do that. I used to be a child, and even like when I was a man in my man body, I still used to be a child deep down inside. And still I would think, as a grown man as I was, that me being expressive, and if I got hit with some type of judgment or negative energy, I wouldn't be able to handle it. I would just collapse. But now I know I can, through the experiences I've put myself through. But that's why it feels so hard to express this true version of yourself. Maybe you don't even know what it is anymore because you've repressed it all your life. And so if those are your past experiences, of course the mindsets are, don't express myself, because you're expecting pain. You're expecting a true expression of yourself, of your voice, of your face, of your body, to be hit with pain. Imagine someone who has lived in a family household in which everything they said, everything they did, they had amazing parents, always uplifting them, never saying anything bad. They're not going to have concepts of being shamed by their parents, of being insulted by their parents, of being hit or yelled at, or just so much stress put upon them. They're simply not going to have that in their mindset. And then if they also lived around other people who were really awesome and cool and uplifting, good friends, good family friends, that's going to be really helpful for them too. That is called an ESS, an emotional support system. People who other people who are in your life who you're able to be open and expressive with your truth with. And so this expression is also, it's happiness, but it's also sadness. It's also the things that are bugging you. It's things that you're motivated for, happy for, this for. It's the things that you want to do, your true passions and motivations. I remember any time I would do something when I was younger, play the piano, bring up a hobby I liked. My mother would always say, you know, cool, but you're not doing that for your life. You're not doing that for your job. And it always just made me feel like, damn, anytime I bring up anything that I like to talk about, you just make it about money. You just make it about a job. You tell me what I can't do. You don't even engage with me liking that thing. You just kind of shut it down. And what happens when I say something like that and then she responds with that is I just go, oh, okay, I'm not going to talk about this anymore. And she is emotionally unavailable, and so she doesn't really go anything in depth. She just kind of says that and goes back to whatever she's doing. And so on the other hand, some people don't have any concept of what it is to be, don't have a concept of what it is to be more engaged, to be able to express themselves and be hit with positive energy. And so they're like, oh, this is good if I do that. And so the true expression is with pain, and pain is like, you know, it could be yelling, it could be the dismissiveness, it could be anything like that. Pain, abandon. It's a whole bunch of things. But this is basically the real thing that's happening in your body. And now everybody does have this to a certain degree. That's just called being, you know, a good human in society that's that's socially competent. So you're not fucking shitting in the streets, you're not throwing profane words, you're not doing whatever the fuck you want. You're following the laws and other people's empathy and other people's rights. And so your expression is true to yourself, but it's also relatable to the people around you as to not be a complete crazy person. But because you already have this mindset in place, your actions then are very, you know, small, timid, and even more, if we were to go even more in depth, experiences like this really lead you to, when you do talk about true expression, when there is real emotion that does come up, it's actually you now the one inducing pain, maybe inducing abandonment, aka not really avoiding the situation. That's a better word, avoiding. And so it's not you the one giving pain, it's you the one avoiding the situation when other people try to give their true expression to you, because that's all you know. That's just what you've been programmed and learned and taught for years and years and years on end. And so that's just how you naturally respond to things. Naturally respond to others, giving you the same thing that when you gave to your parents or to anybody else, they hit you with this negative energy. So when other people hit you with that true expressive, you give negative energy because it's just what you know. You just don't know the other way around. You just don't know the other side. And so what we have to do is change the mindsets in order to allow our actions to come more easily, to come without such high anxiety, to really break out of the shell so we can be ourselves, so we don't have to be stuck in our head all the time. And so if you're small and timid, that's wrong. What you should be is yourself and loose and relaxed. But this comes from this healthy mindsets, and this is where our healthy mindset transformations take place. Now, if you guys want more help with this, book a free call with me below. See how I can help you. See if you're a good fit for the one-on-one coaching program. See if you can change your life socially, be able to have fun conversations, not be held back by this anxiety. That will be in the description below. But the mindsets that we have to take on are ones of a healthy person. If you're watching this video, you've probably gone through a life that wasn't the most healthy in which things have happened to you. You probably don't have, the most extroverts and social skills, easy to fucking be relaxed in yourself and all that stuff. The mindsets that we need to change is that being expressive and ourselves is good and usually gets met with positive energy. So again, negative energy would be like more dismissive, pain. Positive energy would be acceptance and maybe love, joy. Acceptance, love, joy. Playfulness is a huge one. When you're being playful with someone, you're teasing them, you're fucking with them, you're having a good time with that other person, that is you breaking down all the barriers between you and that other person and saying, hey, we are joined by our bond of who we are at a human level. Yes, there's a lot of difference between us, but we get to be playful. All the bad shit that has happened in our lives and your lives, that playfulness allows us to get into that good mood. So positive energy, playfulness, compassion, playfulness and compassion, those are really positive energy things, right? Acceptance, again. So this is the mindset that we need to change. Being expressive and ourselves is good and is usually met with positive energy. However, our brain is not stupid. And what our brain does is look at this and say, okay, I understand the words. But now you go into a social situation, a social setting, and depending on who that other person is, maybe maybe it's someone you feel very comfortable with, you're able to talk. But say it's a stranger, right? Say it's just someone you want to know, but you get that anxiety. You have this in your head, being expressive in ourselves is good and is usually met with positive energy. However, your brain is not stupid. And what your brain says is thinking to itself is, hey, this is me. This is the actions I take. These are the mindsets I have. These are the past experiences I've had. And what it does out of this identity is it says, I'm not that person. And so even though it's able to look at this and say, that's probably good, that's probably true, it's not able to act it correctly because first you have no concept, you have no IRL concept. You have not lived inside of it. You have no actual experience. You can watch 100 million hours on snowboarding. If you've never snowboarded, I guarantee you're going to be worse than the guy who has. If you've watched 1,000,000 surgeries, the person who has done 1,000,000 surgeries is going to be better. So the identity is locked in by the past experiences that you've had, the reactions you've had from those past experiences. And even though you say to the self, yes, it's true, in your brain it's like, no, every time I've done this, it's been hit with negative energy. Even though this looks right, it's not right. It's not right. And what happens is that even though you think it, in your body, so in your mind you may think it, but in your body, what happens is that you begin to get this anxiousness, this tension, your muscles constrict, you feel smaller, you feel in your head, and that is your fight or fight activating. And so what I didn't tell you earlier before was back in your past experiences, when you were getting hit with a lot of this negative stress by a parent or someone, what was happening is that your fight or flight system was being activated. Your fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, or a mix of all of them to some degree, was being activated. And so I have clients who go into the fight response when they get hit with when this true expression, when negative energy, when this anxiety does come out. And so like something in here, like I'm talking to a new person, my anxiety is going to be higher a bit. But because we've already had so many bad experiences, our high anxiety actually leads us to being in a flight or fight. Because us talking to a new person, us expressing themselves, we're like pain, negative things are going to happen, bad, bad, bad. Our mindsets are just focused on the pain, are just focused on the negative, trying to save ourselves, right? It's literally just in survival mode 24/7. Whoops. Right? And so now you may be flight. You run away from your situations. You fight back. You get loud and also verbally, aggressive to that other person. you freeze, you just kind of shut down, you dissociate, or you fawn, you start giving things to the other person, helping them out as to not them get mad at you. And so these things come out, and they come out in your nervous system, in your actual nervous system, your sympathetic nervous system. These are nerves in your body that, when activated, gives you that tensity in you. This boosts things like cortisol, your stress. It boosts things like adrenaline. And so, yes, you get it in your body, this feeling of, in your mind, this feeling of anxiety and being stuck in your head. But it's coming through your body through hormones, through nerve activation, through these types of things. And so, even though that your brain may say, oh, that is true, in the moment, your body goes back to that subconscious. It reverts back to where it is, that baseline. And if your baseline is that survival mode, that's what's going to happen. So anytime you want to give a true expression of yourself, true expression, your body has interpreted you giving true expression as so painful in the past before that your sympathetic nervous system, your flight or fight, actually kicks in, preventing you from doing it. It's your body's way of trying to protect you, of being like, hey, you've done this before and it doesn't go well. Don't do this again. Body, protect me. Body, protect me. Even though your mind really wants to, your body's protecting you subconsciously. It's the only thing we can do is be more aware about this and understand to ourselves that, hey, my body is trying to protect me, but I'm not in that environment anymore. I'm not with that person anymore, or I'm not in that time anymore, and I have a better skill set, knowledge, and confidence in me to get better. And when you understand these things, that it's not your choice to be held back in these conversations, you want to be held back, but your body and nervous system and hormones and blood are stopping you, that's when you get to actually look at what's happening in you so you can start changing it. You can understand what's happening and not be so controlled by it. When I was so stuck in my head, and it's to a point where I don't think you guys understand, my ESS, my emotional support system, I used to call myself like an orphan growing up because the family that I had would change every so couple years. There was never a sense of belonging or identity. I've always moved family to family with other people, and it's always been just me and my mom who I've had since the beginning. My mother is a very traumatized, avoidant person in herself. She's very stressful inducing. She used to hit me a lot, say a lot of things to me, call me retarded, call me autistic, call me stupid, really make me feel like I'm not a good person, make me feel not good enough, make me feel quiet and sad. And because of that, I just repressed myself in life. I never was talking to anybody. I never felt good to talk to anybody. People would come up to me and talk, try to make friends with me. I'd be like, why are you talking to me? Don't you know I'm a loser and I have nothing to give you? And I would just be quiet and I'd push them away because it just felt better by myself being alone. Anytime I went to a family gathering, it was me, the person I was, brown, and at the time, these family gatherings we go to, like my mother is gay, and so she would marry a girl, a woman, and so that was already a bit odd to me because she never explained, this was like normal. I always try to keep it hidden from my friends. I always try to not, think it's true because my mom and my other mom, they had anxiety about being gay too, and they kind of like hid it. They kind of thought it was bad in a way. And so I try to hide it from other people. I try to hide it from my friends. And so growing up, I just constantly lied about the family I was in. The family I was in was me and my mom, the color we were, and then everyone else who was white. Because my mom and I would marry into a white family. A white person would date us. And so anytime we went to family gatherings, it was me, the only brown kid, and white people. And I just had no connection. I just felt so by myself. It was just me and my mom. I would change people a lot of the time. And so, you know someone for like 3 years, and get to know their whole family. A divorce would happen, gone. And that happened multiple times. And so I just really disconnected from other humans. And I wasn't able to talk. I wasn't able to express myself because the concept wasn't there. And the pain that I would feel when I did in the past is just too much. And so I just didn't talk to anybody. Literally did not talk to anybody, hold my laugh back, sit in rooms alone at family gatherings. And so it was very lonely growing up. The ESS I had was non-existent. I had literally 0 people. I think, even still to this day, it's very hard to talk to some people. I now have those connections in place. But before, there was nobody to talk to. Nobody to talk to. And for me to actually practice getting better at socializing when I was so stuck in my head, so thinking about the negativity about myself in life, that thing where it says, hey, it's okay to express yourself and you'll be met with positive energy. I didn't even know how to express myself. I hadn't done it for so long. I didn't know how to talk about. I didn't know what to talk about. I didn't think people wanted to. And so it was so engraved in my identity because I've been taking the actions for the last decade. The mindsets have been there for the last decade. The experiences don't stop. And so everything in my mind is like, don't do it. You don't even know what this looks like. You don't even know how it is. And the way that you get better is this slow process of doing a little bit. Okay, I can do that. Doing a little bit, I can do that. Getting used to it, I can do that. I can do that. And slowly being more and more comfortable with yourself and displaying that. And this is a lesson I'm going to give to you that you may not be on your journey at this point in your journey yet. But this staircase that you build is you showing more and more of yourself, which is you being able to display more and more emotional vulnerability. When I was in such that quiet state, I didn't want to express myself at all because I didn't want to be noticed. I didn't want to be vulnerable and have other people look at me, notice me, and then have them call me out, say something mean, say something negative, because it just happened so much in the past, and so I just did not want to stand out. And because of this, my emotional vulnerability was like super low. I could not be emotionally vulnerable at all. But when I started talking more about myself, expressing more of the things that I actually liked, that actually were interesting to me, that I actually did want to talk about, my emotional vulnerability increased. Also, when I started talking about the things that really bugged me, that was really deep down inside of me, like to other people who I could trust, that really skyrocketed that emotional vulnerability. And it was coming from a place of talking about this stuff without ever getting mad. And I got mad before, but without ever getting mad, without ever getting rude. This is what allows you to do that. Being okay emotionally, being okay, hey, I'm going to put myself out there. If I get hurt, I'm okay with that. If I get hurt, shit happens. That's the emotional vulnerability. That's the confidence. And so what you need to practice is, you need to practice basically expressing yourself. So you can change expressing yourself with the mindset. Expressing yourself with the mindset that confident expression looks like this, okay? So you can express yourself like I used to when I was very, hello, yes, hi, bitch-like, guy or girl. But you want to express yourself confidently. And confidence is just in the sub-communications, your eye contact, your voice, body language, and facial expressions. Once you're able to express yourself confidently in those, and what is confidence in all of these? Relaxed, loose, playful. Playful is such a big one because if you're always worrying about the negative, you don't even get to a baseline where you can be playful. To be playful is to put yourself out there probably more than anything else other than like those deep talks that you have. But this just uplifts the vibe, it uplifts people around you. And you can tell when someone's in a playful energy because it's not logical. Playful is not logic, it's playfulness. It's doing it for the sake of doing it. Doing it for the sake of just having fun. Relaxed and loose, if you're so uptight because you're expecting something to go bad, that other person is going to be like uptight too. And they're going to be like, what the hell? I can't be loose because you're not loose. And so eye contact is warm, it's at the other person in their eyes, talking while you speak. Your voice is a good volume, it's relaxed, your body language is here, it's whatever. Your facial expressions are dynamic, they're not super. And then once you have that, which this is happening at more of a subconscious level, so you have to bring it to the conscious and be aware and audit those, then you're able to express yourself confidently. And this can just be, start with simple compliments. That's what I started with. Easiest thing to say, hey, that's an amazing jacket. Hey, that's a nice shirt. That's a nice this. Bro, I have not gotten a compliment in like, just a random compliment from a stranger in like, I don't know, a couple years. It's been a while. So people don't get compliments a lot. I don't get compliments a lot. I would just assume most people don't get compliments a lot. Everyone is in their own world. And so you just throwing out this extra thing at the end of a sentence, walking by someone, you give that compliment, that is a form of expression. And if you're able to do that confidently, what's going to happen is that you're going to get a reaction from this. You're going to either get a positive reaction, positive energy, or you're going to get negative energy. So you can say, nice shirt, man. Fuck off, bitch. That's negative energy. That's probably what you're expecting. If I say nice shirt, he's going to say, tell me to fuck off. Which is obviously not, right, but it's just how your brain thinks. Or you'll get positive energy. And this positive energy will be, thanks, man. Thanks for the shirt, bro. You have a good one, too. And you see how that the difference in the energy comes from this? Fuck off. Rah, rah, rah. Versus, oh, yeah, thank you. It's all, and this energy is coming from all this subcommunication. And the mindset you then take away from this is if you get negative energy in the mindset, you in the past, your mindset was, this guy's right. I am a fucking loser. This person's right. I'm not good enough. This person's blah, blah, blah. I am this piece of shit person. Wrong. And then if you got positive energy in the past, you're like, that's weird. I didn't deserve that. That person's like extra. No, what you need to do is then change your mindset. So you're changing your mindsets while we take the actions so we can get the result, which changes our identity. So negative energy, what we're going to think to ourselves is, that's weird. We just need to change our beliefs the opposite way around. That's weird. That's weird. That person's odd. That person's having a bad day. That person's having a bad day. That was weird. If I'm going up to someone and I'm giving them positive energy, or I'm being like, fun and playful, and they're hitting me with negative energy, come on, there's something wrong with that person. They're in a bad mood. There's something on their end. I'm doing me, right? And so that's the difference in the mindset. And then you need to believe that mindset. Even if it may hurt you inside, believe that mindset. No, that person's weird. That person's weird. That's their problem. That's not me. That's them. And if something positive happens, it's not like, oh my God, it's amazing. It's, this is normal, and I love this person. And so how this really looks is that there's just you. There's just you, and there's a lot of other people on the planet. And what you do when you are walking through the world and you're interacting with other people is that you're expressing who you are out to other people. And some people are not going to resonate with that. They're not going to resonate with that. You don't want those people to resonate with you. Some people are going to resonate with you. You then want to choose if you're going to want to keep that person around longer in your life or not keep them around longer in your life. Hey, I really like you. You're giving out that energy. That person reciprocates it. You then now get to be like, hey, I actually like you. Let's go out again. I want to see you again. We should be friends. We should do this. Now that energy is actually there. But when people don't like you, they don't match with you, don't take that as an insult. Take that as good. It's like, okay, perfect. I'm getting rid of more people. Not getting rid, but I'm kind of like ciphering through the people who don't fuck with me, who don't vibe with me, which is good. Not everyone's going to fuck with you. Not everyone's going to vibe with you. And it's being okay with that and being okay with this. And then it's like, okay, but like, how do I stop overthinking? What do I say? Dumbass, have you not written what I've written here? When I'm talking to someone, I'm not thinking what I say. I'm asking questions. I'm then giving my own personal input. I'm being playful, so I'm free associating. I'm making references. I'm making analogies. Just saying whatever comes to my mind. They're talking about rainbow. Oh my God, I fucking love rainbows. Have you ever seen Wizard of Oz? I don't even know if there's a rainbow in that movie, but I like it. And see how I'm speaking, the dynamicness. I don't care about being judged. I don't care about looking like a fool. I don't care about any of that, because the people who are attracted to me while I'm expressing myself are the people I want. If I'm expressing myself and you're judging me for how I'm expressing myself, and me doing that is just true and honest to myself, that's on you. I got me. And I got these other people, especially if you got a good ESS. This is like where those integral things to come from. I always have someone to lean on. I always have this. But if you had a very bad family, you don't have good connections with anybody, you may feel like I don't got anybody to lean on, right? And so that's, again, something you have to just cultivate inside of you, because life did not give it to you. Guys, if this does seem like a lot, which it is, and you want more help with this, book a call with me. It's free. We'll see if you're a good fit for the one-on-one coaching. I'll see if I can help you, see what pains you have. If you want to be better in your conversations, get out of your head. Get out of your own way. Take control of your life. Stop being held back by this anxiety. That's for you. Closer help with me. I love you guys. Peace out.